Well, hello again, everyone. What is going on? And welcome to another edition of Sports-O-Mania Plus right here on the Game Breaker Sports Network. Game Breaker Sports, it's in the gamer in the ring. I am your host, Marcus, at MarcusElite337 on Twitter. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be a good one. We got plenty to talk about in all sorts of different categories with football and basketball, soccer. I will throw one more thing for baseball, and then it will probably be a while before I talk any more baseball until maybe between February and March-ish. But congratulations. It hurts to say this, but one of them had to win. Congratulations to the LA Dodgers winning the 2024 World Series in Game 5 against the New York Yankees. You embarrassed them. That made America win, but except New York. Second World Series title in 4 years. Yeah, they won it in the pandemic. This time they won it in front of a more of a sold-out crowd. Not what they had where they got to play it in Texas, but it is what it is. I'm kind of glad the season's over with, and we'll see what happens when that 2025 season comes within March. So that will close the baseball talk I'm going to do on this show for the next few months before we get some more of that college baseball talk, which I don't really talk much about it unless it's LSU. But I'll talk a little bit about that when February comes, when we get the return of MLB in 2025. In March, I'll bring that up too. We'll go with the little soccer talk here. We had another edition, another league phase in the Champions League. UEFA started yesterday. Again, I said at 3 clubs from 3 different countries, still kicking ass in this Champions League. Celtic beat RP Leipzig 3-1. These were scores from Tuesday, November 5th. Dynamo Zagreb beat St. Bratislava 4-1. PSV beat Girona 4-0. Liverpool beat Leverkusen 4-0. Lille and Juventus drew 1-1. Sporting beat Manchester City 4-1. Milan beat Real Madrid 3-1. Dortmund beat Sturm Graz 1-0. And Monaco beat Bologna 1-0. And then your scores from earlier today: Barcelona 5-2 win over Red Star. Bayern 1-0 win over Benfica. And yeah, it hurt to see Bayern and Barcelona play in the last phase. Barcelona ran them over. Club Brugge beat Aston Villa 1-0. Shakhtar beat Young Boys 2-1. RB Salzburg beat Feyenoord 3-1. Inter Milan beat Arsenal 1-0. Atletico beat PSG 2-1. Brest beat Sparta 2-1. And Atalanta beat Stuttgart 2-0. So that will complete this week of the phase. And it'll be about, believe it or not, 3 weeks before the next league phase happens. It'll happen right at the end of the month, Tuesday, November 26th. We're going to see Barcelona and Brest, Bayern and PSG, both 2 p.m. start times for me. Sparta and Atletico, St. Bratislava and Milan, Leverkusen versus RB Salzburg, Inter Milan versus RP Leipzig, Manchester City versus Feyenoord, Sporting versus Arsenal, and Young Boys versus Atalanta on that day. And then on Wednesday, November 27th, Thanksgiving Eve or Royal Wednesday, Celtic will play Club Brugge, 2 p.m. start time. Sturm Graz versus Girona, Red Star versus Stuttgart, Liverpool versus Real Madrid, Bologna versus Lille, Aston Villa versus Juventus, Dynamo Zagreb against Dortmund, Monaco versus Benfica, and PSV versus Shakhtar on that day as well. So, again, if you're keeping up with the Champions League, 3 more weeks until that next round. But if you want to watch more of these international matchups. I know they got some more action this weekend. I need to check. I know I got a lot going on with college football and the NFL, which let's get to the college football talk right now. Big week for us. Coming off a bye week, we got the big one. We got Alabama. This time, no Nick Saban. Nick Saban will be in Baton Rouge. As a matter of fact, the whole crew will be in Baton Rouge. Him, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Desmond Howard, Reese Davis, Pat McAfee. College Game Day will be in Baton Rouge for the first time in 5 years. Of course, they would come to the Alabama matchup. You wondered if they were going to come this year, celebrating right there 100 years of Death Valley Tiger Stadium, folks. They're coming for this one. So important. Feels like an elimination game, you could say, because whoever wins this has a better advantage of getting into the SEC championship or even the college football playoff. A loss and you lose everything. So it's going to come down to the wire. I think it's a 6:30 kickoff. I know it's on ABC now that ABC is a proud partner and supporter of the SEC now, the new SEC. So it's going to be crazy. Who the guest picker is going to be, there has been rumors that it will probably be Joe Burrow because, yes, tomorrow night the Bengals have a Thursday night football game against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. There are rumors he's the guest picker. There was also rumors Kim Mulkey, the women's basketball coach, was the guest picker. Or Jamar Chase was another guy they said. They never said Shaquille O'Neal. They've had a good list of celebrities for guest pickers the last several years. All the game days I went to, I know the very first one I went to in 2008, it was Shaquille O'Neal. 2016 was Lil Wayne. 2018, Alex Bregman. In 2019, John Goodman were the guest pickers those years I went in Baton Rouge. 3 out of those 4 were against Alabama, but the last one I went to was against Florida. One of my favorite games of all time. But I don't think it's going to top the 2022 Alabama. The last time, actually, it was in Baton Rouge. 42-41 win in overtime. The 2-point conversion from Jaden Daniels to Mason Taylor heard all over the world on the same night that the Astros won their second World Series. So that was 2 years ago yesterday. November 5th, 2022 will go down as probably one of the greatest days of my life. I finally saw Alabama beaten by LSU. LSU beat Alabama. Brian Kelly in his first year beat Nick Saban. And then 15 minutes later, the Houston Astros won their second World Series, beating the Phillies in Game 6. I unfortunately did not get to watch that game at all, but the fact that I missed that game, being in person to see LSU beat Alabama and even rushing the field after, was 100% worth it. So I got no highlights with LSU because we had a bye week, but I do have a couple of news stories I want to share that happened in college football. So last week, game day was in Happy Valley, and once again, for the 7th straight time, Penn State blows it against Ohio State 20-13. Penn State coming in hot, saying, oh, they're going to finally beat Ohio State, and somehow Ohio State finds a way. It pulls it off. If they keep this up, Ohio State, I believe, can be on the verge of meeting Oregon in the Big Ten championship, but their biggest hump, it's not this week. I think it's next week. If Ohio State can get over Indiana, then I can see Ohio State going to Indianapolis to play Oregon for the Big Ten championship. We'll talk more about that. But yeah, Penn State winning 20-13 against the Penn State Nittany Lions. They kind of blew it. I mean, looking at some of the numbers here, this was this week's. Hang on a sec. So yeah, 20-13. Will Howard went 16-24, 182 yards and 2 touchdowns. But by the way, he's one of my impact players of the week. Thought I'd get that out there. South Carolina. Whoa, I called it. South Carolina upsetting Texas A&M 44-20. That helped us a bit because we lost to A&M, but we beat South Carolina. And then they lose. It's been a rough few days for Texas A&M. This past Saturday, you get embarrassed by South Carolina. And then on opening night of college basketball, both your teams lose on tip-off, opening night. Your boys' team lost to UCF, and your girls' team got upset by Texas A&M Corpus Christi. That's to be a Texas A&M Maggie. And it sucks to be a Florida Gators. Sucks more to be a Florida State Seminole, which I don't even have shit to say about them. But yeah, another loss for A&M since week 1 against Notre Dame. But that didn't put them out of the picture yet. They'd have to lose to Texas for their season to be over with. Speaking of the Texas side, we had a few. This wasn't the only upset of week 10. Texas Tech upsets Iowa State 23-22. I knew I should have picked the Red Raiders. Louisville upsets Clemson 35-21. And Clemson fans, don't pull a page out of Texas's book. You guys so reminded me of them because y'all wore orange and they were throwing garbage and trash on the field because they can't accept the fact they got embarrassed. Just like Texas did against Georgia. Shout out to my Cougs, my alma mater, Houston Cougars upsetting K-State 24-19. And they rushed the field. SMU upsets Pitt 48-25. And then just for shits and giggles, this wasn't even an upset, but Vanderbilt owns the state of Alabama. Remember a few weeks ago they upsetted Alabama? And now last week they beat Auburn 17-7. So they beat both Alabama teams. When was the last time Vanderbilt ever did that? I would love to know that answer. Or if it ever happened before. I'm pretty sure it did. If it did, it happened a long time ago. Moving on. Like I said, I mentioned his name, Will Howard from Ohio State. He's one of my 5 impact players this week from week 10. I mentioned 16 for 24, 182 yards and 2 touchdowns against Penn State. Moving up on the list. How about my guy to win the Heisman Trophy? Ashton Genie from Boise State. He had a hell of a night. 31 carries, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, winning 56-24 against San Diego State. Then I got Miami quarterback Cam Ward. Probably had the highest ranked numbers. If I rank this from 1 to 5, he would be my number 1. They beat Duke 53-31. 25 for 41, 400 yards, and 5 touchdowns against them Duke Blue Devils. That's something. What else on here? Okay, how about this? Speaking of South Carolina, what about Raheem Sanders, a running back for the Gamecocks? 20 carries for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. Big numbers right there. He had a hell of a night. And then I'm going to throw one more in there. I got to throw another quarterback. What about Curtis Rourke from Indiana? They win 47-10 over Michigan State. Went 19 for 29, 263 yards and 4 touchdowns against the Spartans. That's your impact players right there. Current leaders right now, as of today, November 6, 2024. I'm going to go from 5 to 1. I'm going to start from the bottom and go up. Here's offensive leaders this week for college football in passing. Syracuse's Kyle McCord, 2,761 yards. At number 4, Chandler Morris from North Texas, 2,873 yards. Third, you got Josh Hoover from TCU at 2,947 yards. Number 2, Cam Ward from Miami, 3,146 yards. And at number 1, Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, 3,210 yards. Your top 5 offensive leaders in rushing. At number 5, we got Mekhi Hughes out of Tulane, 1,056 yards. At number 4, Amarion Hampton out of North Carolina, 1,178 yards. At number 3, RJ Harvey from UCF, 1,201 yards. Number 2, Caleb Johnson from Iowa at 1,279 yards. And at number 1, my boy, Ashton Genie out of Boise State, 1,525 yards. And then in receiving, your top 5, number 5, the former LSU Tiger and former St. Thomas More Cougar out of Lafayette, Jack Besh from TCU, 923 receiving yards. Number 4, Trey Harris out of Ole Miss, 987 yards. Number 3, Nick Nash from San Jose State, 995 receiving yards. Number 2, Harold Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green, 1,033 receiving yards. And at number 1, Ted Aurora McMillan from Arizona, 1,066 receiving yards. Defense, your top 5 leaders in tackles. At number 5, Colin Ramos from Navy with 92 total. Number 4, Jay Higgins from Iowa with 94 total. Number 3, Buffalo's Red Murdoch with 107 total tackles. Number 2, Travion Barnes from FIU with 109. And at number 1, Sean Dolak from Buffalo with 120 total tackles. Top 5 sack leaders. Number 5, Donovan I keep saying his name wrong. Izuraku from Boston College, 9 sacks this season. At number 4, Mikaeli Kamara from Indiana at 9.5. At number 3, Mike Green from Marshall with 10 sacks. At number 2, Trey White from San Diego State with 11.5. And at number 1, Antoine Powell Ryland from Virginia Tech with 12 sacks this season. And your top 5 leaders in interceptions. At number 5, Kobe Bryant, not Mamba, the Jayhawk Kobe Bryant from Kansas, 4 interceptions. These 3 are in a tie for second place. Cole Parrish from Minnesota, Terrence Spence from James Madison, and Cam Lockridge from Fresno State. All 3 with 5 total interceptions this season. And at number 1, Noah Williams from Cal with 6. So that's all I got for that with college football. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the college football predictions done right here as I get this ready, courtesy of Google Sheets. By the way, I do have one more sucker thing I'm going to mention. I'm going to do it after I make my predictions for college football. So we are now going to week 11. By the way, last week was not too good for me. I went 9-8 in my picks. As we now get into week 11, I think these are all Saturday games, by the way. I didn't put no weekend game, Thursday, Friday matchups. We'll start it off with Miami at Georgia Tech, a little ACC matchup. I'm going to just say this one straight up. I got Miami Hurricanes winning. Florida at Texas. This one should be interesting to watch. Their first meeting since 1940. I think they've had like 4 or 5 total meetings in the past, and Texas has never lost to the Florida Gators. I think they remain unbeaten against them. Give me the Longhorns all the way. West Virginia at Cincinnati. This one was a toss-up. I don't usually pick against the Bearcats, but I'm going to take West Virginia in a close one on the road at Cincinnati. Georgia and Ole Miss, another must-see that people are going to watch. Georgia hasn't won at Ole Miss since 2011. That was the last time. But 2016 was the last time Ole Miss got the win against Georgia. But we really, as much as I hate Ole Miss, we really need them to win this one. So I'm going with Ole Miss in an upset against Georgia. It's in Oxford. It's the Grove's going to be rocking. Hotty toddy, gosh almighty. We need this upset to help us. Give me Ole Miss at home over Georgia. Michigan and Indiana. Michigan won the last 3, but this is it for Michigan. I like Indiana remains undefeated. Give me the Hoosiers. I would love to see the Hoosiers go to the Big Ten Championship to play Oregon instead of Ohio State. Whenever that week comes, God forbid, I hope Indiana can beat them. It's going to be tough, but I think they will beat Michigan. And it's in Bloomington, so I got Indiana winning at home over Michigan. I had to put this one. This one would be a unique matchup to see. Army and North Texas. Army trying to stay undefeated. This is a big test for them, taking on the Mean Green. I think they can get it done. I got Army winning. Clemson and Virginia Tech. Clemson's trash the way they acted. Plus, it's in Blacksburg. Give me Inner Sandman. I don't care what time of the day it is. I got Virginia Tech over Clemson. Colorado and Texas Tech. Texas Tech doubted me last week, upsetting Iowa State. Colorado, I'm pretty sure I picked them last week, but it wasn't in these picks here. But give me Texas Tech. I'm not picking against the Red Raiders again unless they were playing like, I don't know, maybe like a Baylor or something. But I got Texas Tech at home. South Carolina at Vanderbilt. South Carolina has won 15 straight against the Commodores. and they're 29-4 overall. That is some bad numbers for that Vandy team. But hey, it's in Nashville. South Carolina's still partying from that win over A&M. South Carolina will probably be the favorite. But I'm going with Vanderbilt. I like what Vanderbilt's been doing. I'm hoping to make a trip to Nashville in a couple of months. And that way I can go see Vanderbilt. So go see their campus and whatnot, and their football stadium under construction. But can I say I've been to another SEC school on my list? Give me Vanderbilt in an up. You can call it an upset if you want. I got Vanderbilt beating South Carolina. Maryland and Oregon, this one ain't even going to be close. Give me Oregon. Big numbers here. UCF, Arizona State, another toss-up matchup, but I'm going to take Arizona State in this one. Oklahoma State and TCU. TCU bouncing back off to that loss to Baylor. That was a hell of a game, their little rivalry, but it's in Fort Worth. Give me TCU at home. Florida State and Notre Dame. I just had to put this. I ain't talked about Notre Dame quite as much, but it's in South Bend, touchdown Jesus. Florida State is just, ever since they didn't make the playoffs last year, they just get worse and worse and worse. Notre Dame wins big at home over Florida State. Then the big one, College game day, I said, you ain't got to worry about no storm. Raphael's moving west to Mexico and South Texas. Alabama and LSU. Last time it was in Death Valley, like I said, 42-41 win in overtime on the first possession from Jaden Daniels, running it in, and the 2-point conversion to Mason Taylor. First time since 2006, we're playing an Alabama team in Death Valley that without Nick Saban as the head coach. So that's going to be a different type of vibe because I said Saban is now on College game day. It's not his team. It's Kalen Dobear's team. I don't even remember who the Alabama coach was before Saban. But yeah, 2006 was the last time LSU hosted Alabama, and Nick Saban wasn't the head coach. It's going to be a different, but it's not going to be an easy game. Bama's going to bring it because this is do or die. The winner, whoever wins, still has high hopes to make the playoffs. You lose, it's over. No SEC championship, no playoff appearance. Just get a shitty bowl game. I like the chances. Fuck Alabama. LSU wins. It's going to be close. I don't know what the lineup is. I'm going to pull that up right now. But all I can tell you, LSU, and this ain't going into overtime. They better hope it don't go into overtime. Look at Ole Miss. Lineup, Alabama -3. I don't know if they'll cover. I got LSU, but I don't know if they'll cover. They might win by 1 point, like the last time. So give me LSU. Of course I'm picking LSU. Fuck Alabama. Oklahoma and Missouri. Once was a rivalry in the Big 12. Missouri, though, hasn't beaten Oklahoma since 2016. This felt more like Choklahoma. Like, I gave Texas and Oklahoma their own special nicknames. You've heard them. Missouri, big win at home against Oklahoma. Washington, Penn State. You know, Penn State's madman after that loss to Ohio State. So it's a whiteout in Happy Valley. I think it's a night game. So give me Penn State. And then finally, BYU and Utah rivalry. Brazil for the Bronze Boot. BYU's been playing. The Mormons have been playing good fucking football. Utah's kind of been on a shit downhill lately. So I don't usually pick BYU a lot, but I've been picking them a lot lately. Don't really care for them, but give me BYU. Give me BYU to win that Bronze Boot and beat the Utes of Utah. So that's my college football talk I have for this week. I want to quickly throw in an update. I'm going to go back to soccer. MLS playoffs. So far, there's only 2 matchups left that are going into Game 3, and those 2 winners are going to play each other in the conference semifinals. We got Miami taking on Atlanta. Miami won the first matchup 2-1. Atlanta took the second matchup 2-1. And then you got Orlando taking on Charlotte. Orlando took game 1 2-0. Charlotte took the second game after penalty shots, drawing 0-0 in regulation, but winning with the penalty shots 3-1. Oh, we also have Cincinnati and New York. I told you this one was going to go into 3 matchups. Cincinnati took game 1 1-0. NYCFC took game 2 3-1. Whoever wins this will play the Red Bulls. I think I did say NYCFC because I won an all New York matchup. That would be fun to watch. Meanwhile, on the other one, I picked Miami over Atlanta, and I think I said I picked Orlando over Charlotte. So got that. And then on the other side, oh, I forgot. LAFC and Vancouver going into the third game. LAFC took game 1 2-1. Vancouver took game 2 3-0. The winner of this will play the Sounders, who eliminated the Dynamo. I got LAFC playing the Sounders. The only matchup that's official is LA Galaxy and Minnesota. Minnesota swept Salt Lake. LA Galaxy swept Colorado. Seattle swept the Dynamo. And of course, the Red Bulls swept the defending champs, the Crew. So everyone else going into those game threes, it's going to happen this weekend. And I think it's the following week. It will be conference semifinals, which it's single matchups from here on out of the playoffs to the conference finals and, of course, the MLS Cup. So that will do that right there. I'll go ahead and get to some NBA talk. I'll start with the New Orleans Pelicans. I know the last time we talked, they were winning and losing, but I put from between a Halloween night to yesterday, but I'm going to throw in today because they had a matchup today. They had 5 games in the last week. They've went 1-4. 1-4. Jesus Christ. This team got they had some injuries, but you got like Zion and all them. You still can't win. I wrote 3-4 this season. Now they're 3-5 after their loss just now to the Cleveland Cavaliers. First game, I got their numbers. Back on October 30th, they fell to the Warriors 104-89. But Jordan Hawkins led in points. He had 23 points. He went 9 for 21 in field goals and went 1 for 2 in his free throws. Zion led in rebounds. He had 12 total, 6 on defense and 6 on offense. And Brandon Ingram led in assists. He had 6 assists, 2 turnovers in 32 minutes of play. They did get a win last Friday over the Indiana Pacers, 125-118. Zion had a big night. In 37 minutes of play, he had 34 points, 14 for 20 in field goals. He went 5 and 8 in his free throws. He also had 10 assists and 3 turnovers. Yves Missy, 10 rebounds total, 6 on offense and 4 on defense in that matchup. This past, I think it was Sunday, November 3rd, they fell 126-111 to the Atlanta Hawks. Brandon Ingram, 32 total points, 12 for 19 in field goals, 4 for 5 in free throws. He also had 7 total rebounds, 6 on defense and 1 on offense. And Jose Alvarado led in assists with 7, 1 turnover in 29 minutes of play. Monday, they played the Trailblazers again, falling 118-100. Ingram, 27 total points, 11 for 24 in field goals, 4 out of 5 free throws made. He also led in assists with 7 and 4 turnovers in 33 minutes of play. And Missy, 7 total rebounds, 5 on defense and 2 on offense. In today's matchup, they took on the Cleveland Cavaliers, falling 131-122. Didn't look like it was a good night for the Pelicans. Zion Williamson led in points, though, 29 points, went 9 for 18 in his field goals, 11 free throws made out of 13. That's not bad. He also led in rebounds. He had 8 total, 6 on defense and 2 on offense. And Jose Alvarado led in assists. He had 5 total assists and 1 turnover in 35 minutes of play. Now, I've also been keeping up with the Houston Rockets too, because like I said, I don't have Bally Sports anymore, but I can still catch all the Rockets games. I've been keeping up with this team too. They're now 4-3 of the season. They had a couple of wins and losses. They've had a total of 4 games within this week. So they split it, went 2 for 2. Now I take that back, they went 3-1. So go back to Halloween night. They win 108-102 to the Dallas Mavericks. A little in-state rivalry. Jalen Green, fresh out of high school, the 22-year-old. Jalen Green went 23 points, 9 for 21 in his field goals, 2 for 3 in free throws. He also led in rebounds. He had 12 defensive rebounds, and he also led in assists. 4 assists, 5 turnovers, all in 36 minutes of play. So Jalen Green balled the fuck out. on Halloween night against the Dallas Mavericks. What a game he had. Then go to Saturday, November 2nd. They did fall in overtime. That was a great game, 127-121 over the Golden State Warriors. Tari Eason, 27 points, 11 for 19 in his field goals, 214 free throws. Amin Thompson, 11 total rebounds, 8 on defense and 3 on offense. And Fred VanVleet, 5 assists in that one in 40 minutes to play, but no turnovers. And then on Monday, they did get a win. That was a fun game to watch. 109-97 over the New York Knicks. Alperen Sengun, said his name right, Sengun, 25 total points, 11 for 15, 3 for 3 in free throws. He also led in rebounds. He had 14 total, 12 on defense, 2 on offense. And he led in assists with 5 and 4 turnovers, all in 33 minutes of play. So that's like them two right there. Plus the LSU boy, Eamon Thompson. Boy, I love watching them boys. The Rockets are blasted to the moon in that one. And then tonight, they had they balled the fuck out. They did so good against the San Antonio Spurs, winning 127-100. VanVleet led in points at 21 total, 10 for 11 in his field goals. No free throws, by the way. He also led in rebounds and assists. So he balled out this whole game. 7 total rebounds on defense. And he also had 10 assists and 3 turnovers, all in 25 minutes of play for him. Victor Wembanyama, he went 15 total points, 6 for 14 in field goals. He made both his free throws. Chris Paul led in assists for the Spurs. 4 assists, 2 turnovers, all in 20 minutes. I'm not even going to pronounce this last name. Mahmoud Kalashvili, the power forward. He had 7 total rebounds, 4 on defense and 3 on offense in this one. So they got a good slate. Good slate of games here. If I had to make some NBA predictions for this next week, let's see what we could find going on for the rest of the week. Let's see. Timberwolves and the Bulls. Give me the Timberwolves. Friday, November 8th. Pelicans are on the road at Orlando. I'm hoping they can pull that off. Both teams are 3-6. Rockets got a tough challenge. They go on the road to take on an undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder team at 7-0. I don't know if they can win that one. Thunder's really good, so I'm actually going to give the Houston Rockets an L there. Suns Mavericks on ESPN. That should be a fun one. I got the Suns winning that one. Sixers Lakers at 9. Sixers is trash. 1-5. You know, the Lakers 4-4. Fortunately, I'm picking the Lakers. Saturday, let's pick some games for Saturday. Not a lot of good ones. Jazz and the Spurs. That would be a toilet bowl of the week, but I'd give that one to the San Antonio Spurs. Raptors, Clippers. Clippers been playing good at home. Give me them at home. Sunday, November 10th. Rockets are on the road at the Pistons. I think they can pull that off. Warriors and Thunder would be a fun one. 7-1 versus 7-0. Give me Golden State. Golden State would be the one to give them their first loss. Monday, November 11th. Pelicans are hosting the Brooklyn Nets. They better win that game. Rockets are hosting the Wizards. They definitely going to win that one. And then Tuesday, November 12th, they start the group play tournament. Ooh, this is going to be fun to keep up with. So Tuesday, they start that just that day. They're going to play regular season matchups the rest of the week after that. Oh, also on Friday, November 15th. So I'll just make predictions for Tuesday's games. And when I do my next show next Wednesday, I'll predict the Friday games on November 15th. So group play matchups for that NBA Cup. Hawks at the Celtics. Give me the Celtics. Heat at the Pistons. I'll take the Heat. Hornets at the Magic. I'm going to probably take the Hornets. Knicks at the Sixers. Give me the Knicks. Raptors at the Bucks. That's a shit one. I don't know what's going on in Milwaukee, but I'll take Milwaukee in an upset there. Suns at the Jazz. Give me the Suns. Mavericks at the Warriors. I'll pick Golden State. And finally, Timberwolves at the Trailblazers. In group play, give me the Timberwolves. You heard those, folks. And before I close up my NBA talk, let's do some stat facts, some stat leaders. Offensive leaders in points from 5 to 1. At number 5, we got Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets at 29.6. Number 4, Jason Tatum from the Celtics with 30 points. Number 3, Tyrese Maxey from the Sixers with 30.2. Number 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks with 31. And at number 1, still leading another week, Anthony Davis of the Lakers, 32.6 points in his career this season. Top 5 leaders in assists. From number 5, we got Chris Paul of the Spurs at 8.9. Number 4, Ja Morant of the Grizzlies at 9.7. Number 3, James Harden of the Clippers at 9.9. Number 2, Nikola Jokic of the Nuggets at 10.3. And number 1 with the most assists this season, Trae Young of the Hawks with 11. And top 5 3-pointers of the season as of right now. Number 5, Peyton Pritchard of the Celtics at 4. Number 4, Jason Tatum with the Celtics at 4.1. Number 3, LaMelo Ball of the Hornets, 4.6. Number 2, Buddy Hield for Golden State at 4.7. And at number 1, Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves at 5.1. Defensive leaders. Top 5 rebounders. Number 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo at 12.3. Number 4, Karl Anthony Towns of the Knicks at 12.5. Number 3, Nikola Jokic for the Nuggets, 12.6. Number 2, Ivica Zubac for the Clippers at 13. And at number 1, Domantas Sabonis for the Kings at 13.4. Top 5 leaders in blocks. Number 5, Brook Lopez for the Bucks, 2.4. Number 4, Alexander Sarr for the Wizards at 2.8. Number 3, Walker Kessler for the Jazz at 3. Number 2, Chet Holmgren for the Thunder at 3.1. And at number 1 for the most blocks this season, Victor Wembanyama of the Spurs, 3.9. And top 5 defensive leaders in steals. Number 5, DeMar DeRozan of the Kings with 2 steals. Number 3 is a tie with Jalen Williams of the Thunder and De'Aaron Fox of the Kings with 2.1. Number 2, Dyson Daniels of the Hawks at 2.2. And number 1 with the most steals, Jordan Poole at 2.8 with the Washington Wizards. So that wraps up my NBA talk. And now we'll wrap it up with some NFL talk. And usually the last couple weeks I get on and I want to shit talk my goddamn Saints. But I'm going to tell you something. They finally did something we've been wanting them to do. They fall 23-22 to the Carolina Panthers. They're now 2-7. They've lost 7 in a row. And then the next day, they finally did it, folks. They finally fired Dennis Allen, folks. Cheers. It's been a long time coming for this to happen. Not only that, there were going to be some changes on the roster. The following yesterday, Marshawn Lattimore was traded to the Washington Commanders plus our 5th round pick. But what we got in return? A 3rd round, a 4th round, and a 6th round pick. I like it. I will miss Marshawn Lattimore. Hey, it is what it is. He's better off. He's with a good football team, I can tell you that, with the Washington Commanders. Let's talk about some of these numbers here. 23-22, it is what it was. Derek Carr, 18 for 31, 236 yards, 1 touchdown. Alvin Kamara led in rushing and receiving. 29 carries for 155 rushing yards. 6 receptions for 60 receiving yards. Defense, 50 total tackles, 33 solo, 1 sack, and 5 tackles for a loss. We did get 2 touchdowns on the board. Taysom Hill had a 7-yard run, and Foster Moreau had a 17-yard reception. Blake Grupe kicked 3 field goals, 1 for 29, 1 for 33, and his last for 51 yards. That's all the Saints had, but it wasn't good enough to get the win. But we did what we had to do. I'm so glad he's gone. Where else do I want to start here? God, I need to look at my fantasy team. Houston Texans, you guys let me down again. You fall 21-13 to the fucking Jets. Aaron Rodgers, 22 for 32, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns. Compared to CJ fucking Stroud, 11 for 30 and 191 yards. Hell no. They ain't gonna cut it. Go back to our game. Bryce Young. Look at his numbers. 16 for 26, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. I don't know if they as mad. We ain't as mad anymore, but I can tell you who else is mad. The Cowboys. That's Cowboys' fall to the Falcons 27-21. I've never been so happy for a team I hate so much to beat a team that I also hate so much. Kirk Cousins, 19 for 24, 222 yards and 3 touchdowns. Versus Dak Prescott? Oh, shit. 18 for 24, 133 yards and 1 touchdown. He even read his lips, said, we fucking suck. Buffalo keep on winning 30-27 over the Dolphins. Josh Allen, 25 for 39, 235 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bengals win big, 41-24 over the Raiders. Joe Burrow, 27 for 39, 251 yards and 5 touchdowns, baby. Chargers win 27-10 over the Browns. Justin Herbert went 18 for 27, 282 yards and 2 touchdowns. Titans beat the Patriots. Comeback win 20-17. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, close win 27-22 over the Giants. This is their best start since 1996. Jaden Daniels, 15 for 22, 209 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Hell of a night for that kid, Jaden. Baltimore pulls it off 41-10 over the Broncos. Lamar Jackson, 16 for 19, 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 23 carries for 106 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And Zay Flowers, this was all Baltimore leading in this one. 5 receptions for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eagles comeback win 28-23 over the Jags. Cardinals embarrassing the Bears 29-9. Caleb Williams, 22 for 41, 217 yards. Shit numbers. Lions and the Packers. This was actually a good game. Jordan Love balled out, even though they didn't get the win. Lions won 24-14. Jordan Love went 23 for 39, 273 yards and 1 interception. Josh Jacobs had a hell of a night too, even though they got the L. 13 carries for 95 yards. And Jaden Reed receiving in that game. 5 receptions for 113 receiving yards. Rams beat the Seahawks 26-20. Geno Smith, where the hell he been all season? 21 for 34, 363 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Seahawks. And it's Sunday Night Football. This man just continues to outshine everybody. Vikings win 21-13. Sam Darnold, 28 for 34, 290 yards and 3 touchdowns against Joe Flacco and the Colts. And looking at these numbers, Joe Flacco, 16 for 27, 179 yards and 1 interception. I don't know what the hell Anthony Richardson did. You might as well put him back on the field. And then, of course, Monday Night Football, Chiefs, Bucks, Super Bowl rematch. I told you this was going to come down to the wire. Patrick Mahomes had a good night. 34 for 44, 291 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I felt like he got a little sloppy. Kareem Hunt led in rushing, 27 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce led in receiving, 14 receptions for 100 yards, but still couldn't get in the end zone. Still ain't got touchdown number 2 of the season. But the Chiefs win it in overtime, 30-24. They're 8-0. Undefeated at home, undefeated on the road. Is this streak going to continue? And they want to say, oh, they're getting help from the refs again. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up with my NFL picks week 10. I actually did better last week for the NFL than I did college. I went 10-5 in week 9. This is week 10. So Thursday Night Football, I'm going to try and watch what I can of it. Due to that so-called storm we were supposed to get, our football game was moved to tomorrow night. But I don't think it's going to be a long night. It'll be a short night, if you know what I mean. I'll be able to watch some of this game. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals taking on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Bengals really need this win. Ravens are probably going to be a favorite, but give me the Cincinnati Bengals. Just in case Joe Burrow is the guest picker, he can find a way to celebrate with him. And the NFL is returning to Germany this week. They're going back to the Allianz Arena, home of the FC Bayern, the greatest soccer team in Germany. We got the almost would have been my total bowl of the week, but the fact it's in Germany, the German fans are going to make this fun to watch. It's going to make me want to get up to watch two shitty teams try and fight for a W in Germany. You got the Giants and the Panthers. Panthers coming off that upset win over us. They're no longer the worst team in the NFL. I think the Patriots are the worst team. We're maybe the second worst. Give me the Panthers to pull this off because the Giants still got some issues. Falcons and the Saints. We're now in that rebuilding process. We finally got rid of Dennis Allen. I would love for them to pull this off as much as I hate the Falcons, but with what happened the last time we played Atlanta, I mean, I know we're not going to win this. It hurts me to say it, but we're going to lose this game. I got the Falcons winning in the Dome. We're now in that rebuilding mode. Broncos and the Chiefs. I think the Broncos can keep it close, but the Chiefs are going to remain undefeated. They go 9-0. Steelers and the Commanders. Give me Washington all the way. Give me Jaden Daniels and company. Vikings and the Jags. I got the Minnesota Vikings winning this one. 49ers at the Bucks. Tampa Bay is pissed after that overtime loss. 49ers are just trash. Give me Tampa Bay. Bills and the Colts. This is not going to be a pretty game. Give me the Buffalo Bills big. This is my toilet bowl of the week. Patriots at the Bears. Two shitty teams, but only one's going to win. So I got the Chicago Bears winning at home over the Patriots. Titans and the Chargers. Chargers, I think, won 2 in a row now, maybe 3 in a row. Add another W. Give me the Chargers. Eagles and the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I don't think. I'm going to have to pull the schedule up. I don't think they've won a home game this season. I shit you not. Like, every time I've watched the Cowboys play in Jerry's World, I think they literally lost every time. Let's go back. Let's go back and look. A home loss to the Saints, home loss to the Ravens, home loss to the Lions. So yeah, the Dallas Cowboys are winless at home. And they're going to have another loss at home. It's because I got the Eagles. And then after that, they got the Texans at home next week. That's another fucking loss. If they're able to win a home game this year, it will probably be on Thanksgiving night against the Giants. No shit. That will probably be their only win at home this year. I'm calling it now. The Cowboys' only win at home will be the Giants on Thanksgiving night. Because after that, like I said, after that Eagles game at home, you got the Texans, the Giants, the Bengals, the Bucks, and the Commanders. Your next 5 home games, I guarantee you're going to lose 4 of those 5 in Dallas at home. I'm calling it now. All right, moving on. Jets at the Cardinals. Almost nominated this as a total bowl of the week. Cardinals have been shocking people lately. Jets just being the goddamn Jets. Give me the Cardinals at home. Sunday Night Football. This is my game of the week. Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions taking on CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, and they will finally wear those battle red uniforms. I wish I had a fucking picture right now. Matter of fact, while I make that pick in this next pick, I'm going to get that picture ready. So, but I hate to break it to my fellow H-Town family. I love this team. You could kind of say they're my second team in the NFL. But the Detroit Lions, they for real. They are for fucking real. They are probably my pick to win the NFC. As much as I would love the Washington Commanders to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl, I would have them as a runner-up. Because the Lions, for real. I shit you not. The Lions are my pick to win the NFC and possibly, if not play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they're probably going to end up playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But I got the Detroit Lions. But I will tell you this. If there was a fashion show with uniforms, I got it right here. It's uploading right now. They are finally. I think they're going to pull. They're also going to wear them again on Christmas Day against the Ravens. The Texans are wearing the battle red this Sunday. I fucking love the battle red and even the helmets too. Uh, just take a good look at that while I get the helmet image loaded up too. Like this might be hands down probably the best damn uniforms, new uniform combos they dropped for the 2024 season. Like, holy shit, dude. And this is the helmet right here. I love the little steer horns on the side. My opinion, I think the Texan. I love the H-Town blue they did as well with that H on the side. I love those too. But like I said, one more time for the folks, that battle red, that's my fucking favorite that they've ever dropped. And the same with the helmet. So yeah, they're gonna look pretty in that, but they're not gonna end up winning. I got the Lions winning, unfortunately. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if the Texans pull it off. I'd be happy for them. That'd help me in fantasy football. And then finally, Monday Night Football. If he's back, I think he's back. Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins taking on Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. I ended up picking the Rams. This one was kind of a toss-up. Could have went either way, but I got the Rams winning at home. Well, that will wrap up another week of Sports-O-Mania Plus right here on the Game Breaker Sports Network. Again, follow Game Breaker Sports on Twitter at GameBreakersNet. Subscribe to us on not YouTube. Follow them on Facebook. Go on their website, GameBreakers.net, and watch all our shows anytime on demand. If you're into sports, pro wrestling, pop culture, all that good shit, movies, they got it all. Game Breaker Sports Network. It's in the game or in the ring. Again, I'm Marcus. Again, at MarcusElite337 on Twitter. You can now watch this show anytime on demand. Shows will from now on be live on my YouTube channel from here on out. So, and I even got classic episodes on my former show, SAT Sports, if you want to check those out from within the last year. But again, thank you all, and I will see you guys next Wednesday around this time, 9 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. Central, for another week to talk sports and everything for you. But thank you guys, and y'all have a good one. Take a deuce.